Hi, I'm Dr. AJ Kumar, PhD. So, oh shit, I'm about to go get some tea, so, but anyway, let's see. I guess I thought about this some more. First thing, I think what I want to do instead is an HTML tree generator. And get the HTML tree working. So, and then we kind of focus on the output and then figure out the input part. Okay, so src. Let's remove rm. We definitely want to remove the ERL and okay, and then cd dot. I'll make dir a scratch. Okay, make dir. Okay, let's do. Okay, let's do. Okay, module TeXXX. Okay, and what this is XML record type. So, in fact, it should be TeXXHTML. That's insane. No, but what I want is HTML syntax, something like this. Okay. I just need some examples just to make sure I'm yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking. Let's go with quotes. Okay. Okay. So record tag so there's some that are just standalone and some that are environments. Standalone let's just call it SA. Okay, name is a string. Let's use binary. Okay, and then attribute attributes is just going to be a list of binary. Should I use binary? Binary is kind of silly, but why not? Let's just use string. Let's not be retarded. Okay, binary is great for some things. There's sometimes when you need it, but generally a string is. Name, attributes, then record, environment, name, string, example, standalone. Environment. Type. Doc type 5. Attributes. Let's call them attrs. Let's use binary. This is just, I'm going to pick binary and stick with it, okay? Can't be arbitrary binary, obviously. No, string just to emphasize. Okay, this is going to just to emphasize that it's text. How about I use text? See, in Haskell I would use data.text and forget about it. You know what? We write it to be correct. Type data, standalone environment, just because binary is going to be faster. Subtags. this is going to bother me. I want strings. This is such a stupid thing to get hung up on. But binaries are kind of joggerlicious, just in the sense that it seems like it's easier to screw them up, and with the... Anyway. href equals foo.css. Is it more important that this is fast or that it's correct? Obviously correct. It's more important that it's obviously correct. We can come back and make it fast later. We always do that. Yeah. It's more important to write code that's obviously correct. Anyway. Render HTML. Okay, and the reason for this is so that I know to render the doc type. Render HTML. Okay, if it's standalone, name equals name, equals adders. Okay, and to do this, we just make a list like this. Name, io.lib, format, you don't even need to do that. Name, render attributes. And that's it. It's standalone for render for an environment subs equals subs. For this we do the same thing. Open tag is equal to this. close tag is equal to this. That's literally it. Okay, close tag is equal to that. This is really easy. And then subs stir is equal to render HTML subs. Render HTML subs. Okay, and then we just do return open tag subs str close tag. Okay, and then to render HTMLs, okay, well let's write the two arity case first. HTMLs, render HTMLs, okay, and spec render. Let's do PF HTMLs. And then that's clear what that means. Result, and then otherwise the general case will go at the beginning. Accums HTML rest accum PF HTML this result. Str is equal to new accumulator is equal to accumulator this string. Because when we're building strings, we can just build them like this. PF ML's rest new accumulator. And then PF attributes. PF adders, of course, usual trick we do. Then for this, we're gonna export HTMLs. What? Basically, I guess, redoing nitrogen, but I like doing things my own way. Pretty format the attributes. Key value. Rest accumulator. Okay, and the base case, you know what, it bothers me. I'm going to put the base case first. Accumulator. I just prefer putting the basic stuff right away. Okay. Here, that the space is intentional. The space is there to separate distinct the value space key equals value this KV pair str accumulator this KV pair new accumulator is equal to this PF attributes rest new alright, and let's oh, and then of course we want PF document PF document smells PF doc type 5 smells HTMLs. Doc type 5 doc doc type HTML. Okay, this is just like the most basic thing. Oh boy, 24. One. 28. Don't care about that. Okay, let's just do TeXXX PF document. Doc type, okay. Okay, and then we're going to do an environment with the name HTML, no attributes and no subs. HTML and HTML. I see now I understand nitrogen a lot more now. Anyway. Oh, shit. So I'm curious. I'm thinking about embedded code listings, because those are... Anyway, I gotta think for a second.
It says migrant workers who entered factories 10 years ago have a higher endurance for hardship and work intensity. It writes, in the past 10 years, the economy based on internet platforms has developed rapidly in China. Compared with traditional factories, takeout and courier delivery have flexible working hours, and the income is not less, so they have advantages in attracting workforce. Traditional factories have a much harder time finding skilled workers and workers willing to do hard labor. In April 2021, a young man published a post on the internet. He described his lifestyle of lying flat at home for 2 years. It is basically not working, not laboring, occasionally doing odd jobs, and spending only 200 RMB or $31 per month. He concluded, lying flat is justice. From the end of May to the beginning of June, lying flatism was all over the Chinese social media platforms and became a hotly debated lifestyle among young people. The young man who posted about his lying flat lifestyle was crowned as the master of lying flatism. According to his story, when he was 18 years old, his family introduced him to an auto painting factory as an apprentice, after which he worked in a tire factory, an electronics factory, a chemical factory, etc. In the last few months, before deciding to lie flat, he worked as a security guard in Shenzhen. It can be seen that this man, the master of lying flat, is the worker that the factory owners in the streets of Guangzhou are trying to recruit, but he has decided to escape from it. In reality, a group of young people have been practicing this lifestyle of lying flat for a while. On May 6, 2018, a Japanese public broadcaster, NHK, aired a documentary titled Sanhe Talent Market, Young People in China with 1,500 Japanese yen a day. It reported on the situation of young people in and around a low-end talent market in China. Sanhe is the name of the largest human resources company in the region. These young people usually have no higher education or relevant skills. They hang out in internet cafes, have no fixed place to live, and make a living as casual workers, with daily pay claiming to work 1 day and play 3 days. Because of their unique work and lifestyle, they are known as Sanhe Masters. Before working as a security guard, Luo also went to Sanhe job market. He wrote, "I still can't forget a scene where a man was holding a sign saying, 'Who wants to sell blood?' And a bunch of people gathered around him and said, 'I want to sign up.' All for the price of 350 RMB or $54. Luo eventually returned to his hometown, where the family still has a 3-story home, the second floor of which belongs to him and is where he now lies flat. Sanhe Masters are scattered in the streets of China's metropolitans such as Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Shanghai. They make a living by casual labor, not renting nor buying a home or a car. They work for a day, play, and then go back to work after spending the money. The emergence of Sanhe Masters is related to the employment dilemma faced by the lower class and the significant changes in the overall environment in China. After the Tiananmen Square massacre in 1989, the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, led its people to seek fortunes in silence, or by any means possible, and not to concern themselves with national affairs. At the same time, pornography, gambling, and drugs spread like a flood throughout society. With the boom of the internet, video games have consumed many of the younger generations. Luo's idea of lying flat has resonated greatly with the Chinese student population. Each year, students in China have to compete with millions of others for a spot at a prestigious university. After graduating, they have to compete with millions of others for high-paying jobs. Lying flatism has also been embraced by many office workers. They post cartoons and leave messages such as, "When lying flat, leaks are not easy to cut." Why do office workers enthusiastically endorse the idea of lying flat? In mainland China, the 996 work culture prevails, where employees are required to work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. The high intensity of work is not rewarded in return. According to a report released by Chinese real estate company Beike on May 27th, the 3 Chinese cities with the highest house prices to income ratios are Shenzhen, Beijing, and Shanghai. It would take an average residential family living in Shenzhen 27 years without food and drink to afford a home. On May 31st, 2021, the Chinese government announced the 3-child policy, which means that a couple can now have 3 children instead of the decades-old 1-child policy. However, the high cost of raising children has resulted in a lukewarm response from the public, who have said that they don't want to have children. To prevent the public from blaming it, the CCP has cleverly introduced the concept of capital and capitalist, leading the young people to become hostile to capital. Jack Ma, the billionaire president of Alibaba, previously advocated 996 work culture. He has now been portrayed as a blood-sucking capitalist in the Communist Party media. Chinese online users vented, "Not lying flat, but working 996? Just to sell myself and make money for the boss? So I can die from overwork while the cemetery is valid for only 20 years? Without fair laws, equal education, and social health protection, a lifetime of hard work still comes to nothing. Why not take it easy now and enjoy lying flat?" Such a trend has also spread to Taiwan. Taiwan's internet users divide up their lying flat friends around them into 4 types. The first type is a complete lying flat. They don't work and receive government subsidies, taking it online to complain about social injustice every day. The second type is semi-lying flat. They work conscientiously, but never consider finding a mate. They spend most of their time doing things like playing video games at home or investing in a subwoofer project for their pleasure. The third type is slightly lying flat. They work hard to earn money and invest, capable of buying a car and a house. They feel liberal about relationships, not committed, and advocating no marriage and no children. The fourth type is lying flat in marriage. Couples split everything 50-50, from house chores to money, living in a 2-person world without any children. The discussion of lying flat has spread to the US as well. A senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute in New York writes in a Bloomberg article, "Upper middle class, well-educated young Americans are getting in on the protest movement started in China. She points out that Gen Z and millennials are leaving the workforce in record numbers. It's due to high unemployment benefits and stimulus payments, policies. In addition, due to the global pandemic that essentially shut down the entire country for 18 months, many people later find themselves flush with savings. But unlike Taiwan and the US, young people in China face unimaginable hardships in reality, even if they choose to lie flat. The US pays high unemployment benefits and subsidies for citizens during an outbreak. It's unthinkable in China. It's safe to say that in reality, there is little chance that the Chinese people working 996 will ever be able to lie flat. The stories we see in the media and social media platforms in China and abroad are not about China's young working class. Australia's ABC News published a report titled, "Lying Flat, the Millennials Quitting China's 996 Work Culture to Live Free of Anxiety." It interviewed a lying flat person who used to be the editor of a famous Chinese publishing house. He believes that his daily work is a torment to him and has taken a toll on his body and mind. He now runs a convenience store in Beijing using a hut from an old alley or hutong left by his grandparents. The ABC article reads, Li Chuang is among a growing number of young professionals in China rejecting the traditional narrative of success in favor of a minimalist lifestyle. Similar stories often appear in Chinese media, such as a senior TeXXX employee who decided to flee Shanghai with his wife and children in 2017. They came to the countryside in Anhui province, bought 200 mu of land, and lived a rural life. However, this type of story is heartbreaking for Chinese with 996 jobs who like to lie flat. They commented, "This is not lying flat. This is achieving financial freedom." As we can see, the cases of the working class lying flat reported by the Chinese media is only a short break in most scenarios. After a few months, they still need to continue to look for a job. As for the root cause of this, young people in China see it clearly. They wrote, "Don't look at the internet. Just look around you. Are there really young people who are lying flat? No, not even 1 in 100 people. It's not that they don't want to do it, it's that they don't dare because they can't afford it. As soon as the young people lie flat, it's impossible for them to make it to the next month or year, not to mention the future. It's the harsh reality in China. It can be said that young people in China do not have the luxury to lie flat." In China, even the bottom-tier Chinese who have a job can hardly get income security, let alone someone lying flat.
因为返工工人8个月没开工资了，8个月了
8个月1月多少钱呢
？650。
650，这是大家给没有给这个证件反映过了？
反映过，我们光退户，今个后拿。
光退。
哎，对。
27铁路口要工资要不到，员工堵住路口不让走，一辆车都不让走。
The CCP does not intend to leave the young people in the class of lying flat alone. It has already expressed its strong dislike for it. The government needs a productive young workforce, which is especially important in dealing with the aging population. As a result, the official Chinese media has referred to lying flat as a threat to national stability and called it shameful. Online discussion of the lying flat movement has also been censored. As we mentioned earlier, this generation of young people has a different philosophy from that of their parents, as they do not want to be bound by the strict management of factories. Since November 2020, Chinese regulators have taken more than 50 actions, at least one per week, against sectors such as internet companies, the after-school training industry, takeout platforms, video games, and medical and beauty care. Why? One of the main reasons is that most of the industries under purge are service industries. Beijing hopes that the economic restructuring will drive the labor force to the manufacturing factories, thereby helping the factories to lower their wage costs and stay afloat. The CCP believes that industries such as takeout and gaming have contributed to laziness and homestaying among the youth. The expansion of universities has created a large number of highly educated graduates without a job market. Then the suppression of education and training industries will, to a certain extent, also divert some students to the technical colleges needed in the manufacturing industry. In other words, the CCP is besieging young people trying to lie flat at every turn. Lying down in China is more of an attitude or a dream.
Title.
After the break, we're going to interview Eric Weihenmayer, who climbed the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. But he's gay. He's blind. So we'll hear about that.
Okay.
That's funny. Is that one of his kids? Does have the butt chin. Oh, he's kind of... God damn it, Gab! God damn it, Gab! You piece of shit! Jesus. Social media is cancer. The incoming crash is cancer. Alright, enough of Gab. Someone asked Cannon, are you in jail? How did you That's fucking hilarious. It's funny. ZX is the only person that I follow, so. Anyway. Alright. I understand why Nitrogen does everything with records, but I don't like that, so I'm not going to do that, although I might do that later. ENV title oh shit, I just have to have a raw string as a substring. See, this is why standalone. Okay, and then just base string. Text. Okay. HTMLs is a list of HTML. Okay, perfect. Duh. Then down here, PFHTML. Duh. Does the BR tag need that? No, it does not. It doesn't need that. Okay. Title, text, value. Let's see. HTML head, title, And then let me just do document. env x name adders subs environment name adders subs tx HTML name adders subs. Okay, and then standalone adders name adders tx HTML name adders. Okay. Title. Okay, we're gonna get hello world going. Okay, body subs. Body never needs anything. Okay, so we're just body subs. Okay, and then h1 text text env h1 text. Okay, so we need a way for this to work with like Bootstrap. Okay. Okay, and let's do example. Let's do compile. Doc HTML lang en head HTML head title hello world and title. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm hating this style. Doc HTML body H1. Whoa. TX tags, TX tags, example. Let's try this. Okay. TX C HTML. Let's see this. There we go. Okay. HTML. Okay, TX HTML. Net. IO led format. Why are there so many, Huh. So many empty lists being included, I guess, because that, yeah, okay, because there's environments. Okay, but this will handle opening and close. Okay, so this is like, this is the data structure that everything compiles to. Right? It has to compile to a document. Everything that's HTML has to be a document. Okay, and then that's the way this has to work. Everything goes to a document. I know what a monad is. I'm not interested in this video. This looks important. We'll go to my watch later, because it's Wild Burger. Oh, for fuck's sake. Don't, okay, stop recommending Rich Eisen to me. I am curious about this guy. How old is he?
Hello Internet, I am Biscuit. Many people who watch my videos admit confusion over how fast I actually type. Now, I have made previously a video in which I show how exactly I make videos. You can find the link in the video description. Remember to click show more. But my actual typing speed is still a question. When I was 20 years old, I was wondering the same question, and to find the answer I created the game. Now, measures like words per minute are highly language dependent. I used a character-based measure called 10-minute relative speed. It measures the number of characters you can type in 10 minutes. The game I created scales automatically to the user speed, trying to coax a little better speed out of them. Now I have not trained at all, and this video of me playing the game is going to be completely uncut. And it's a blind playthrough in that way, because I have not trained. So whatever results I get here, that's how fast I type now, without any training. Let's see how it goes. First I'm going to try using Finnish words, because I should be better at Finnish.
Well, this is a good game. This guy's way younger than he sounded. I like this guy a lot, but I also don't give a shit. I don't give a shit enough to watch a 10-minute video. Anyway, okay, we have an HTML doc type. It looks like everything it's doing is correct. But I now see... So I want to look at nitrogen again. I want to see how he was doing this. Just see gum. Their documentation doesn't work. (2010), that's 11 years ago. Okay. Okay, I see this. No, I prefer I think mixing languages actually isn't the bad thing, and the reason is because it very clearly, Erlang code runs on my server, and HTML runs in the browser. And I'm going to try to do this with no JavaScript at all. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to look at. Because I was going to assume coding this against Bootstrap, but maybe it's worth it. Responsive web. I don't know the jargon now. No JavaScript. In just HTML, because it's Turing complete, I should be able to do it. And I'm interested in this. With no JavaScript. All right, I'm gonna go get. Last time I had the idea to get some caffeine and watch a video, I ended up falling asleep. I think I put that video up anyway, because it was pretty funny. Did I put it up? If I didn't put it up, let me check. I think it's this one. Let me check. Juggerlicious.
Expression as in pure.
Yeah, this one. This one, I fell asleep. Did I? Let me...
For loop that iterates through all sub-expressions.
Yeah, this is... There's a... I listened to the audio track that was just my microphone that didn't have the finish guy. I like that finish guy a lot. That didn't have that finish guy talking. Apparently I was snoring very, very loudly, which I thought was hilarious. Although, I don't know, that's probably like a negative indicator on my health or something like that. I don't know. I'm not gay, so I don't worry about that type of thing.
Hi everyone, welcome to this course. In this course, I will teach you how to make a fully functional...
Fuck this guy. Okay, if you're Indian, take it from me. The least you can do is talk like an American, and that way people can understand you. I can talk like an Indian too. I can talk like this, but nobody understands me. Right? It's wrong. If you're going to speak to English people, speak like an American. Okay? Jesus Christ. Alright? I'm working very hard to act like a white man. Alright? I watched enough Terry Davis. I understand the value of being white, of writing your own compiler. I think that's really one of the big reasons I'm doing this, because I think he's actually right about... Here, he has it. Let me find it. Ah, shit, I'm gonna get... Here. Is there a censored version of this? Is there one that's censored? Apparently not. Okay. I'm gonna have to remember to go bleep this. It was at around mid. Okay. Let me write it down. Where's? God damn it! Where's the pen? I'm gonna have to censor this. I hate editing my videos, but this is so funny that I think it's worth putting in. 0002. Or where? Because I can see on Tima, it's more important that I look on Tima. Okay, actually, it's 0003 on the nose. Okay, that's when I've got to censor it. Okay.
Sitting in my
Let me make sure I'm actually recording the audio, the desktop audio.
Hello? What about GCC? I can't understand you. What'd you say? Do I see the fun in GCC?
This shit's hilarious.
Hell no, I'm a white man. I wrote my own fucking compiler. I'm not a nigger like Linus. I'm a professional. I started at Ticketmaster in 1990, and we wrote a compiler.
Okay.
The difference in a professional and amateur, the difference between an amateur and a professional is you write your own compiler. Okay. I have a 20,000 line divine intellect compiler that operates just in time and ahead of time. You seem to be in denial. Why don't you fucking download my 2 meg? You can download my 2 meg distribution that has all the source code on it, and you can compile with my fucking compiler. You're a nigger. You're a fucking nigger. Fucking nigger. So,
So, Terry, whatever, he's funny, I laugh at him, but I've watched enough of him to realize this guy was actually, he was legitimately brilliant. He was seriously a guy who was worth listening to. And he legitimately was a genius. He certainly was a genius when it came to computers. So when he says it's important to write your own compiler, I kind of believe him, because he actually did it. And I'm not writing a C compiler. I eventually do want to write my own C compiler, but I don't really do C ever. So maybe I'll write my own Erlang compiler someday, or port the Beam to some weird hardware. Spelled confirm wrong. Confirm your web here. Confirm your websites. Okay, whatever. Certainly not smooth. It does not look good. This guy is probably Indian, but doesn't want to embarrass himself by talking like an Indian. The comment and doesn't give the source code, an asshole. It's on his Patreon. Let's skip ahead. I want to see. Okay. I want to learn about this because I actually don't know how to do this. Did I get the date right? It is... Oh, it's now the 14th. Okay, but I started it yesterday. Okay. Because midnight is... I hate living in Mumbai, so I live as if I'm a white man in America. That's my dream. Okay, is there a... Shit's probably way out of date. I don't want to learn a new thing. I think I will swallow my disgust. God, this is just cancer. I will swallow my disgust and use Bootstrap. Fuck off, Cora. Never mind. Bootstrap looks nice, and I would like something that has those kind of components and whatnot in it. It's fairly easy to use.
Responsive web page using only HTML5 and CSS3. I'm not going to use any JavaScript to add responsive behavior to a page. And then home, font weight, notch icon. So let me search, let me go to font awesome icon, and here I'll search circle notch. So this is the icon. Click on it and click on this code, copy HTML, and inside this pan I'm going to paste it. And for the text, for convenience, I'm going to copy this and paste it inside the LI. Let's save this and have a look. See, we have added the circle notch. Now let me add the rest of it. So I'm just going to copy this list for each list item. So if you see here, all the lists are not aligned in the general section. So inside the general section, let me add it here, I. The color will be ED7620. Let's save. Now our icons are of that orange color. And one final thing, I'm going to add a top margin to a social icon. So here I'll write social icon, margin top 50 pixel. Let's save this. So this is the about section. And in the next video we are going to make the service section.
I don't give a shit about any of that. Okay. No JavaScript. God, I hate JavaScript so much.
It's perfect, man. It sucks so much for whatever team loses this game. Like, I literally can't imagine. Because, you know, we make...
What if I told you that there's a way out from under the iron grip of the bloated legacy of Billy G? I must warn you, it's a rabbit hole that you may never want to climb back out of. Never want to climb back out of. Never want to climb back out of.
I want to get copyrighted. God, this is so complicated. Why is the web so fucking complicated? Oh my god. Alright, I need both caffeine. I need a lot of caffeine and a lot of alcohol. And I'm not sure, like, what the ratio is. You got nice tits, lady. This girl. I take it back. She's just pretty. Anyway. Web steel. Let's see. So far, all I've done is say a bunch of horrible shit. Everyone bitches about Erlang's syntax, and it's like, I love the syntax of this language. It's so simple. It makes so much sense. There's no bullshit with the syntax. Like, every other language has some, whatever, it doesn't look all leet haxer like, but it's super simple. Yeah, there's no, like, being clever in Erlang. It's just very simple. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna pause the video because if you're watching this, you deserve to sit through 3 minutes of me going to make some tea. I'm gonna also have some whiskey. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have tea and I'm gonna put some gin in it. Tea with gin. Oh, I have caffeine pills. I should try these. Forgot about that. Alright. So, I made myself... I took me so long, sorry, because I was looking, apparently I don't have honey. Guess there's a honey shortage here in India. And I don't have honey, and so I had to use agave syrup. So what I did, I made Earl Grey tea with, I squeezed half a lemon into it, and a bunch of gin, shitload of gin, and some agave syrup, and well, I think it'll go pretty well together. But it's basically just hot tea with honey and lemon and gin. And the agave syrup tastes a lot like honey, so I think it'll be good. We'll have to see. Why am I getting all this?
We have Eric Smith from CloudView. You might also know him from the open source GP project or the MongoDB as web scale video. Eric.
Thank you, Bob. So these conferences work this way. There's a call for proposals. They send it out, and you fill it in, and you submit it. They look at it, and they approve it, or they don't approve it. And if you get accepted, you're like, oh, I'm going to this conference, I'm going to speak. And then you forget about it completely. Months down the road, you're like, I've got to go to this conference. So you book your flight and your hotel, and then you check the website to see what you proposed months earlier. And apparently, this is what I get. So thank you very much for coming. I got a vote of confidence just before I came in from my friend Loic, who's like, I have absolutely no interest in this topic, but I'm interested to see if you can pull it off. So here we go. Yeah, I mean, I'll be very honest with you. I think this is more of a reflection of a pathology that I have than anything else. For some reason, I am extremely interested in the general topic of code craftsmanship. And it may just be sort of like an insecurity I have with myself. I have to, like, you know, something that I make has to be perfect, and I'm obsessed over every little detail. And of course, then I want to make other people obsess over that, and it's just not, it's not functional. So I thought about, you know, so I'm going to talk about code beauty as a metaphysical aesthetic to folks going to an Erlang conference where there's, you know, running Erlang on Neutrino, or running, embedding Erlang in a supercomputing cluster, and all sorts of really interesting technical topics. So now I have the challenge of talking about something completely non-technical, more process-oriented at best, but, you know, has this horrible tendency to devolve into, like, personal opinions, and, you know, I like the shade of green better than the shade of blue, and so how do I make this specific? There's no shame in writing this kind of function. This comes from CouchDB. If you want examples of really, really horrible Erlang code, CouchDB, I'm going on the record saying this, CouchDB is second only to core Erlang. Core Erlang is by far the most horrific. It's so easy to find terrible code in OTP source. But that's sort of the point. It's like, this code has worked wonderfully for years and no one gives it a second thought, right? And so here's some, you know, jackass coming by and saying, you've written terrible code. That's absolutely nonsense. There are things that we can do better. There are things that we can craft and hone, and we'll take a look at the specifics of that. But really, again, at the end of the day, just get the thing to work. So my theory is this, though. So we'll talk about scruples. So Kent Beck talks about scruples, as scruples as if it's a cost. So it's in advance. So you have something that works. Now I'm going to spend the energy to have scruples. But what if we could have it work and have all the goodness for basically the same price? It's the same cost. So in other words, to do the right thing, if you have an option of A, the terrible code, or B, decent code, or C, awesome code, and it really doesn't cost you much more to do C, why not just do C all the time? So
Baseball reared its ugly head again yesterday, tied up at 4 apiece in the top of the 13th inning, and before this, Pivetta was absolutely dealing. Fastballs top of the zone, fastballs right down the middle, nasty curveball, nasty changeup, fastball, changeup, curveball. The curve was absolutely disgusting. This breakdown is brought to you by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/JohnBoy. You get 20% off and free shipping. Keep it clean. Let's get into it. Kiermaier's up, 13th inning. Runner on. That's a curveball. Sits on it. Curveball top of the zone. Catcher says, calm down. They wanted that strike. 3-0. Pours it right down the middle. Fouls back to 3-1. Full count in play. Is it going to go over the wall? Is it going to land on the track? It hits the wall on the fly, then hits the right fielder, then goes back over the wall. Huh? What? Does the runner score? Is this guy hungry? Is he heartbroken? Yes. And we got a little side-by-side to show you what happened. Yandy's running on the pitch because it was 3-2. It's in the air. It hits the wall, and then it hits the fielder right there as Yandy's rounding third, and he's heading home. Going to take a good 2-throw.
Curious about this. I don't want to see the comments, as those will spoil it. Oh God, no. So let me. Maybe what should I watch? I don't want to watch anything. I want to do some code. Okay, so docs. I want 4.86. Okay. And I'm just going to code against this and assume that this is it, because this has all the stuff I want, okay?
Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic as Maverick flies past my window with amazing timing. Now look at this puzzle on the screen today. This is by the magnificent setter Udakos. It's called Killer Cave, and I spotted this on Logic Masters Germany because it has, well, it's got a very, very unusual profile. It has almost 100% rating. I think it's 99% and 5 stars out of 5 for difficulty. It's called Killer Cave, and that is because it appears, I've read the rules, and it seems to combine two of my favourite things, Killer Sudoku and a cave logic puzzle. Now, we have done a couple of cave puzzles on the channel in the past. It's sort of a Japanese logic problem. It used to appear in the US Puzzle Championship sometimes. And I used to spend, in the years before Cracking the Cryptic, where I was an investment banker for some sin I must have committed in a former life, I used to spend many happy lunchtimes in Canary Wharf hunched over puzzles like this one, well, like the cave puzzle element of this one, basically whiling away my lunch hour and forgetting about what I actually did for a living. So I'm really, really stoked to try this one. And in fact, Udakos strikes me as an incredibly selfless person as well, because he actually emailed us just a couple of days ago to recommend 2 puzzles to the channel. And he never mentioned that this puzzle existed, even though clearly it's one of the great puzzles of the last few weeks. At least, it may be even better than that. So, thanks to Udakos for being so selfless, and I hope that you're going to enjoy watching me do battle with this puzzle. Do I have any news for you today?
I should.
I'll just mention.
I want to read a section out of Arden. Should I do that before or after I get drunk? Okay, let me get it. Let me get. Okay. Let me get a bootstrap template up. Okay. Meta adders. So what I'm envisioning at the end of this is like a GUI application where you input your site tree, okay, maybe I should, so maybe for a given page, you'll give it a title, a thumbnail, and by thumbnail I mean when you link it somewhere else it has like an image. Title, thumbnail, short description, I already mentioned title, maybe an author and a date. Then it has a body, and you write all of this in TeXXX. This is, I mean, it's just cancer. I love this. TeXXX. TeXXX. That's so funny. Makes me, at least I think it's funny. Anyway.
Today's puzzle, which has been getting some incredible feedback. Do have a look at that if you haven't had a go at it. Look at it give it 30 seconds, if only to have the experience I did, which is to be absolutely convinced that the puzzle was broken. I was so convinced I called Mark to complain about the puzzle he'd sent me, only to be told to go away and think harder, which I did, and eventually figured out that it wasn't broken after all. But it's a really weird one because you look at it and go, no, it's just broken. So I'll try and remember to put a card on the screen. Other than that, try our apps, have a log, join us on Patreon, you know the normal score. Anything you can do to help us keeps us going, which we're most grateful for. And with all that said, let's get to the rules of Udakos's puzzle. I'll read them to you now. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply. Grey squares are walls, and green squares are pins.
That's a... just with an underscore. Okay, this is actually a good way to start. And we can link ophttpd to TeXXX. Oh, this would be a cool thing to show Craig. Is TeXXX. 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 God, that's such cancer. That name is such fucking cancer. Tex. 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 TeXXX. 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 How do you say it? I like the name. It's funny. Link, adders. Okay, and then body H1 script. Is that a reserved term in Erlang? Link is definitely a reserved term. I didn't know that. Script. Oh. Script. Adders. SA script. Okay. God damn it, Bootstrap. God damn it. Okay, this will go to a new window. This goes here. The head is right.
What does this mean, you might be wondering? We don't have any green or grey squares, but we do have an example over here which will be relevant. I'll get to the example once I've read the rules. Some of the cells must be coloured grey so that all grey cells, brackets, the walls, are orthogonally connected to the edge.
Wait, I gotta pay attention to this.
Well, grey squares, I'll read them to you now. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply. Grey squares are walls, and green squares are cave. Well, what does this mean, you might be wondering? We don't have any green or grey squares, but we do have an example over here, which will be relevant. I'll get to the example once I've read the rules.
I like that pilot guy.
Some of the cells must be coloured grey, so that all grey cells, brackets, the walls, are orthogonally connected to the edge of the grid, and all other green cells form an orthogonally connected area, the cave. A clue in the top left corner of a cell indicates the sum of the digits that are seen from this cell looking north, south, east and west. The cell with the clue counts once towards this sum. Okay. Walls obstruct the view. A cell with a clue must be part of the cave, and within the field of vision of a clue, digits may not repeat. Now that is quite complicated. Let us...
TeXXX. TeXXX. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to show this to Craig. I'm going to make him decide how to pronounce it. Style sheet HTML. Title. Hello world. Yes. Body HTMLs. This is going to be, and obviously I will clean this up later, but we're just experimenting. H1, hello world. We could do H1:2 as well, or script. Fuck off with the fucking... The script is not... Each script is going to be empty. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is already much easier to input. Oh, my goodness. Can't forget our ant poop. I think that's it. Oh, and then we need to do these meta viewport things. Okay. This can go away. Meta UTF. Oh no, it can't. UTF-8. Don't paste anymore. Char set. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? This is already annoying me. Okay. Pretty format an adder when is Atom key. Okay. Let me do pf atter key value I'll try something. Shit, that won't work. When is Atom key? When is list key? Okay. Key value. Key type key Atom string. Type value must be a string. That, okay. Or that could, I mean, we could be retarded, but the thing where okay. So for this, we're just going to do pf adder erlang Atom to key str equals erlang Atom to list key str value. There we go. Meta char set EF-8. Okay, and then this will meta UTF-8. And this is just to emphasize that it returns a single HTML. Meta view meta name port content oh wait, why am I being retarded? Because I'm Indian. Oh, and that's it. Viewport HTML, oh, and then style link rel style sheet href how about I just copy it? I'm gonna fuck up some ant poop somewhere. Okay, let's try CDSRC, Errol. Let's see, CTX tags. HTML. Ooh, what is HTML3? $74. Nope. ENV. That's my problem. TX tags. TX HTML. Pretty format doc. All right. What is dock? Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, that's a problem. There we go. This will fix it. Okay, awesome. It's funny that when it goes full screen, the background is my desktop background and not this other window. Anyway. Okay. Oh, I did delete that stupid Lexer, but the Lexer wasn't doing anything. And I recorded myself working on it, so it's fine. Although I'd have to go dig through it. Oh, I didn't delete it, I moved it to Scratch. That surprisingly is good. I gotta... Alright, let's watch this. I'm happy with what I did there, although I didn't do much work.
See if we can understand that in the context of this example, which I'm going to look at reading the rules again to see if I can understand it. So you can see this is an example puzzle using the digits 1 to 6. Let's look at the cave element first. You can see every cell in the grid is either green or grey. The green cells all connect with one another orthogonally. The grey cells all...
What I want to do... right. What is I/O data? I assume it's binary. So the environment standalone, that's LaTeX jargon. Okay, so here's the BS temp. TeXXH pf document. Okay. Erlang characters to binary. It's Unicode. Binary was this. Okay. File, write file. What's the difference between write? God damn it. Okay, here. Hello.html binary. Okay, Firefox even hello. There we go. There we are. And let's just look. Wow. Hey, this actually works. That's shocking.
Reach the edge of the grid through orthogonal connections through grey cells. So that makes sense to me. Now what about these these 10, 14, 21, these clues in the corner of cells? How do they work? Right, I see. So look at this 10 clue here. That 10 clue sees, if it looks downwards, before it hits a wall it sees this 1, that one. And then if it looks eastwards, it sees the 2 and the 4 before it hits a wall. And it also sees itself, which is that one. So this 10 clue sees a 1, 2, 3 and 4, and therefore is a 10. Let me look at this 21 clue. I just want to convince myself I understand how this works. So this 21 clue, I think, is going to be summing a 6, 1 to the west, a 3 to the south, a 2, 5 above it, which add up to 17, and a 4 in its own cell. Right, so I do sort of understand. You have to basically, sum the green squares you can see from the clue squares in each of the directions until you hit a wall or the edge of the grid, and then that will be the clue total. So, this all sounds very straightforward, doesn't it? Let's see. Do have a go yourselves. The way
A cell
to,
with a
of
clue
course, is
must
to
be...
click the link under the video as usual. And now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, I think there was a rule that said that all clue cells were... A cell with a clue must be part of the cave, so it must be green. So that means every single clue with the top left-hand corner digit is a green cell. So let's do that and see if that sheds any sort of light on what's going on. Which it should do, because this is part of the cave and not the wall. Right, the 43 clue catches my eye, so that's telling us you can't repeat digits in a cave, can you? Right, so this is interesting, because this clue must see exactly 8 different digits. And how do we know that? Well, that's using the secret, of course. Now, the secret, which I've been able to tell people in the last couple of days a couple of times, is to do with the fact that if you think about any complete box of a Sudoku, or any complete column, or any complete row, if we correctly complete this row, it's going to have the digits 1 to 9 in it, once each. If you add up all those digits, you get 45.
Within the field of vision of a clue, digits may not repeat. Okay, I didn't notice that.
So, let's think about that in the context of a 43 clue here.
It sees everything
That's
except
telling
2.
us, because it's seeing different digits that sum to 43, it must be seeing 8 different digits and not be seeing a 2. Because if it was seeing 9 different digits, it would be a 45 clue. It's not a 45 clue. And we can't miss out 2 cells that sum to 2, because then we'd have to miss out 2 ones or something, and that just is nonsense. So it must be missing exactly a 2 and be 8 cells large. Now, that's interesting in the context of column 9, because this 43 clue is now not... It can't only be seeing those cells. We can't just turn these cells green, because if we did that, this clue would also be green, and this clue would see the whole of column 9 and be a 45 clue, which it's not. So that means this clue must extend to the west at least 1 cell.
And see the 23
now,
clue?
This 23 clue. What's that telling us?
Well, okay, so the...
Okay.
So, what that's saying is that the cells that the 43 clue sees to the west are bounded above by 23. 23 plus 1, so 24. Because the minima, or 23 plus 3, so 26. So, at a maximum, this sees 26 to the west. And so therefore, whatever 43 minus 26 is, I'm not great at math, because, I'm not white. But if we go up, alright.
What that's telling us, I think, is that the amount of the sum of the digits in row 9...
So that 46 minus 20... or 43 minus 26, that's going to be 20 minus 3, which is 17. I don't trust my math ability.
That are contributed to this 43 clue has a maximum, and that maximum is 23. Because if we put 26 along here, for example, if we turned all of those green...
Oh, shit! I forgot, because the 23 can see every... Okay, right. That's okay. I'm retarded.
They could.
I told you not to trust my math ability.
Add to 26. Let's say we turned all of those green and we made them minimums. They would then add to 28, and this clue would be broken. So we must keep the cells in this row that are green and connect to this 43 to a maximum of 23, which means that this clue must have 20 at least vertically. Now how many cells must 20 be? It must be at least 3 cells, because 8 plus 9 only add to 17. So these 3 squares must be green.
This is a really interesting rule set.
We've now proved 6 of the positions, 6 of the 8 positions in the 43 clue.
This is like a Fistamafel puzzle. This is just a really, really interesting type of... This is a really interesting, like, it's a completely different... Anyway.
Right, and we've got a 42 clue here. Right, 42 has a different profile though, doesn't it? Because 42 might only be 7 cells, because what we could have is a 7-cell 42 region that missed out a 1 and a 2, because 45 minus 1 minus 2 is 42. These are the knowledge bombs that we donate on Cracking the Cryptic. So if this is a minimum of 7 cells, and it can never connect to here, because if it took those 5 cells, it would obviously then become a 9-cell string.
I didn't put enough gin in that tea, and I put too much agave syrup. So next time, well, it hasn't quite hit me yet, but more, the amount of tea was about good, but more gin, less syrup. The lemon was perfect. Half a lemon, squeeze it in there.
And should have a 45 total. So it can get 4 cells.
Alright. This is a waste of my time. It's not a waste of my time. So the thing with Cracking the Cryptic is I'm a mathematician. I'm the smartest mathematician who ever lived. But the problem I always have is thinking too fast, thinking ahead, making logical errors. And the problem, this is why I like the computer. This is why I'm doing QAnal, is part of the reason I'm doing QAnal, is because I like math that's computable. It's also why I like Wild Burger so much. I like when my math is computable, and the reason is because the computer is much better at checking my work than I am. I think too quickly, and so I end up making a lot of mistakes. And with the Sudoku, when I'm watching this, I end up making mistakes trying to predict what he's going to do. Right, like you saw a couple minutes ago, I made the 26 error because I didn't think about the reciprocation. Right, I would never catch that error if I was doing a CIA math. So, kind of the reason I like this is because it's training me. When I watch this, it's training me to catch my logical errors. And so I mean, it's not easy to follow this type of argumentation. I mean, this is what real math is like. Real math is much more like this Sudoku than it is like fucking arithmetic or some bullshit like that. Real math is really it's all about logic. It's not about arithmetic or numbers. However, I kind of want to switch back to math being more about concrete calculations, arithmetic, and make it as simple as possible. And there's really nothing simpler than integer arithmetic. Anyway, I'm gonna go get should I get another drink? Let me wait for 20 minutes and see how the other
so it
drink
must
affects
take at least 3 cells from row 1. Oh, I see. This is sort of iterative, isn't it? Now I can look at this 41 clue. Yeah, this is clever. Okay, so the 41 clue has the same profile as the 42 clue. How many digits is it? It must be at least 7 cells and a maximum of 8 cells. If it's missing a 4, it's 8 cells large. If it's missing 2 cells, it's missing a 1 and a 3. But it can't be missing 3 cells, because the minimum it could be missing would be a 1, 2 and a 3, and 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6, and the clue maximum would then be 39. So, this is 7 or 8 cells, and now it can take no more than 4 horizontally, 7 or 8 cells, 9. So, This is 7 or 8 cells, and now it can take no more than 4
Why did he get 4
cells.
there?
-1, -2 is 42. These are the knowledge bombs that we donate on Cracking the Cryptic. So if this is a minimum of 7 cells, and it can never connect to here, because if it took those 5 cells, it would obviously then become a 9-cell string, and should have a 45 total. So it can get 4 cells from column 9, so it must take at least 3 cells from row 1. Oh, I see, this is sort of iterative, isn't it? Now I can look at this 41 clue. Yeah, this is clever. Okay, so the 41 clue has the same profile as the 42 clue. How many digits is it? It must be at least 7 cells and a maximum of 8 cells. If it's missing a 4, it's 8 cells large. If it's missing 2 cells, it's missing a 1 and a 3.
Wait, I forgot how did he deduce the 3?
Total. So it can get 4 cell string and should have a 45 total. So it can get 4...
So why can't it share some vision with the 43 cage? Because then it would be seeing 9 cells. Okay, so we saw that the 43 cage at least has to take these cells. Okay? So there's got to be a wall somewhere here. We know that. Okay. The 42 cage, 42 cave, whatever. It's got to be an 8-cell cave. Now, why is that? Why does it have to be 8 cells?
Cell.
Because right. Oh, no, it could be 7 or 8 cells. Because it could miss a 1 and a 2. Okay, it can be 7 or 8 cells. Oh boy, I should not have had all that gin. It could be 7 or 8 cells. It can miss a 1 or a 2. God, I want to go read some Arden, don't you? I think I'll have another... Okay, it can be 7 or 8 cells. Okay, and it can take them... I'm fucking lost. It can be 7 or 8 cells, and it can take at most 3 cells. Because if it takes 4, then it sees the 43 cage, and then we're fucked. Alright, so it can take at most 3, so therefore it has to take at least a few, it has to take at least a few from over here. I don't know how many, because I'm not great at math, but... Okay.
Cells from column 9, so it must take at least 3 cells.
So why 3? So it can take at most 3 here, and that would... So if we maximize here and minimize over here, then we get 3 from over here and 4 from down. Okay. So Adam, so we're kind of going... We've got a trade-off between south and west, and if we maximize south, if we maximize south, i.e. minimize west, then we get 3 west, 3 south. Alright, and that's being generous and assuming that we're missing a 3 and not missing a 1 and a 2. No, can't it be that you take 3 from down here and 2 from over here, and then you got 7-cell region? What's wrong with that? I don't know.
Become a 9-cell string and should have a 45 total. So it can get 4 cells from column 9, so it must take at least 3 cells from row 1.
Oh, I'm being a retard and double counting. That was my issue. I was forgetting that this corner square only counts once. That's why you don't let Indian people do math. If you have an Indian accountant, fire him.
Oh, see, this is sort of iterative, isn't it? Now I can look at this 41 clue. Yeah, this is clever. Okay, so the 41 clue has the same profile as the 42 clue. How many digits is it? It must be at least 7 cells and a maximum of 8 cells. If it's missing a 4, it's 8 cells large. If it's missing 2 cells, it's missing a 1 and a 3. But it can't be missing 3 cells, because the minimum it could be missing would be a 1, 2 and a 3, and 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6, and the clue maximum would then be 39. So, this is 7 or 8 cells, and now it can take no more than 4 horizontally. So it must take 3 vertically. At least it could take more than that. Now this clue is a little bit less potent, look. 37. So 37 is a minimum of 6 cells. But that we know that because 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 is 35, and that's 5. So we need at least one more cell. So this is 6 cells minimum. Now it can't get all of those cells. It can't get more than 4 cells from this column. A 5th cell would then connect it to the 40.
I'm completely lost how he, because I stopped paying attention for like 10 seconds and he makes the deduction. This feels like watching one of Mark's videos. Simon, he's usually I'm like screaming at this guy because it's like, hey, look at this obvious thing. And this one he's like making all these, I don't have the Jew brain that this guy has.
7 or 8 cells, and now it can take no more than 4 horizontally. So it must take 3 vertically. At least it could take more than that.
Because it has to be at least, you know what, I don't give a shit.
Now this clue is a little bit less potent, look. 37. So 37 is a minimum of...
See, I can't follow this killer Sudoku logic. I don't do as well with that. And look at his face. Looks weird.
6 cells. But that we know that because 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 is 35, and that's 5. So we need at least one more cell. So this is 6 cells minimum. Now it can't get all of those cells. It can't get more than 4 cells from this column.
Because it needs...
A 5th cell would then connect it to the 41 and make it a 45 clue at least. So it must get 4, it must have at least 2 from this direction. I think that's going to put more pressure on the 43 again. But if we look in this direction, the 37 could take 5 cells, so it must take at least 1 cell vertically.
So it's like mini-max logic.
We can iterate again though, because now the 43...
It is minimax logic because it's iterative. This is John Nash's paper on the minimax. I'm gonna, there's zero fucking chance he watches this, but I have an epic troll planned against Craig Cannon. It's gonna take me a long time to orchestrate it. Probably a couple months, at least. But basically my plan... I'm not going to say my plan, but I'm gonna use it to make him listen to a lecture from me. I'm going to troll him into learning about John Nash's Minimax paper. It's not a really complicated paper. It's where he introduced the idea of a Nash equilibrium and proves that, quote, proves, unquote. John Nash was a CIA guy. He uses a CIA proof that that there's always every zero-sum game has a Nash equilibrium, some bullshit like that. His proof is very elegant, but it is CIA nonsense. But I think Udakas has managed to embed John Nash's minimax logic in here. Let's find his paper. It's called Equilibrium Points Oh, here, I have it bookmarked. Equilibrium points in n-person games. Who the fuck names their journal Penis? You kidding me? Here. It's really, it's literally like a fucking paragraph long. And this is, alright. Here, let's see if we can get his, see if we can spot the John Nash logic. I mean, it's a CIA argument, but still a beautiful argument. Alright. One may define the concept of an end... John Nash, he's so... Like, the argumentation is so clear. He's one of the great... I just like this argument. Here, let's watch this. One may define the concept of an n-person game in which each player has a finite set of pure strategies, and in which a definite set of payments to the n players corresponds to each n tuple of pure strategies, one strategy being taken for each player. Okay, for mixed strategies, which are probability distributions over the pure strategies, the payoff functions are expectations, thus becoming polylinear forms in the probabilities with which the various players play their various pure strategies. Alright? Any n-tuple of strategies, one for each player, may be regarded as a point in the product space obtained by multiplying the n strategy spaces of the players. One such n-tuple counters another if the... this is the beauty of it, is he's showing that for the idea of a Nash equilibrium... Okay, let's read his argument. Let's pretend that you've never heard of a Nash equilibrium before. This is the paper where he introduces the idea. One such n-tuple counters, we need to put this in brackets, counters another. If the strategy of each player in the countering n-tuple, so A counters B, if the strategy of each player in A yields the highest, not higher, highest obtainable expectation for its player against the n-1 strategies of the other players in the countered n-tuple. A self-countering n-tuple is called an equilibrium point, and he proves that there is always a self-countering n-tuple. I think that's the way this works. The correspondence of each n-tuple, and I think that's what this is it's a he's constructed some sort of weird game where he has a self-countering strategy in the game, and the self-countering strategy corresponds to the cave, but the iterative nature of this, where constraints from one player, I'm thinking of these four corners as kind of being like players. Here, let's read the rest of Nash's argument. The correspondence of each n-tuple with its set of countering n-tuples gives a one-to-many mapping of the product space into itself. See, this is my problem with loose associations, I think. But this kind of thing reminds me of Nash's argument. So, anyway, where are we reading? The correspondence of each n-tuple with its set of countering n-tuples gives a one... I remember this type of weird shit. Gives a one-to-many mapping of the product space into itself. From the definition of countering, we see that the set of countering points of a point is convex. Convex. Why is that true? Okay, I'd have to think through this. By using the continuity of the payoff functions, we see that the graph of the mapping is closed. Boy, I remember working through this a couple months ago and just thinking it was brilliant, and now I'm this is really the heart of the argument, is this paragraph. Because he's gonna use Kakutani's theorem. And then I don't remember actually what Kakutani's theorem says. But basically, continuity of the payoff. Okay, so the important point is that the set of countering points is convex, the graph of the mapping is closed, Yes, okay. Wow, I'm talking really loud. The graph of the mapping is closed. If I put my earbud in, it's like it amplifies my voice like 10 times. The graph of the mapping is closed. The closedness is equivalent to saying if Pi and Qi are sequences where Qn converges to Q and Pn converges to P and Qn counters Pn, then Q counters P. Since the graph is closed, and since the image of each point under the mapping is convex, we infer from Kakutani's theorem that the mapping has a fixed point, i.e. point contained in its image. Hence, there is an equilibrium point. In the two-person zero-sum case, the main theory... Okay, I'm going to do a revelation explaining this. Okay? And I got to find this. If you read this book by von Neumann and Morgenstern, I have it here on my bookshelf. It's a really long book. I've never read the whole thing. I read the first little bit of it. The argumentation they lay out is really simple. There's very little sophisticated mathematics in it. They are just shitting constantly on economists. They just fucking hate economists. It is hilarious. It reads more like a academic diss track than it does a book. Anyway, but this is his whole argument. This is the Nash equilibrium paper, less than a page if you print it right. And it was on page fucking 49 of volume 30, right? Just this random... I don't know what journal this is, actually. Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Penis. Anyway, okay. But the important point of this is this idea of countering. That's why this puzzle reminded me of this argument, is this idea of countering. I wonder if Udakas is familiar with it. He's got to be a mathematician, because you got to... I'm wondering if he's familiar with this type of argument. I mean, this is a very standard type of argument in like topology or analysis. This idea of, you have sequence A converges to point... Sequence AN converges to point A. Sequence BN converges to point B. So sequence QN converges to Q. Sequence PN converges to P. You have facts about each pair QN, PN. And from that you can conclude something about Q countering P. Here he's doing it in sort of a finite, more constrained setting. Okay, let's watch how this develops, and I bet it's going to be... This is interesting. Okay, this is going to be a revelation. Let me start a revelation. What number am I on? 24. Okay, CP Rev O 23. Rev O 24. Nash equilibrium. Rev. Okay, first thing we're doing is we're changing... I'm not going to do this in my old projects because I've got like links to things in the master branch, but we are going to, first of all, rm.get-rf, get init -initial get checkout-b massa, okay, xv makefile, Nash equilibria. CD readme for Nash equilibria. CD dot 24 24 Nash equilibria. And it is October 14th. I'm going to keep this private because this will be part of my epic troll against Craig, which will take me a long time to implement, but you're going to see me develop parts of it on the if you watch this playlist. He's going to be so pissed, and he'll think it's funny. No, he'll think it's funny. If he gets pissed off, well, fuck him. He lives on a different. I mean, we both live in Asia, but he lives in, you know, Japan, which is kind of fake Asia, and I live in India, which is also fake Asia. So anyway, this is CIA math. This is 4 out of 5 in difficulty. Essential. Okay. Oh boy. Essential will be topology. Set theory, topology, analysis. Important. Ophttpd's theorem would help. Math PhD. Topics. Game theory. Analysis, minimax, optimization. Goes with videos. I'm going to actually link Cracking the Cryptics video, because I want to dissect this mathematically. That's way too ambitious, but this. So my plan is to keep this revelation private, okay, and it doesn't complement any other revelation. And it'll go with shocking truth about set theory. Uh, 24. Nash. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to need to explain. Okay, so let's just do kind of an outline. Chapter, basic topology. Ophttpd's theorem. I don't think it's a particularly difficult theorem. Yeah, here. Yeah, it's not. Okay, yeah, look, this proof is a page. Oh, God. The Brouwer fixed point theorem. Okay. Save this and bookmark it. This argument is horrible. It's a shitty argument. Yeah, it's barycentric. Nobody knows what the fuck. I mean, I know what barycentric coordinates are. By the Browder. You mean Brouwer? Is there a thing called the Browder theorem? I don't know. God damn it. Let me search this. No, that's a typo. Okay, so I think we need to talk about the Brouwer fixed point theorem. Alright, Oh, there's two mathematicians called Brouwer, aren't there? And they're spelled slightly differently. The Brouwer fixed point theorem. Kakutani. Okay, Nash's argument. We're going to have introduction, basic topology. So introduction's always the first chapter. Just to kind of explain the idea of what, give a tour of what we're going to be doing. Basic topology, Brouwer fixed point theorem, Kakutani's theorem, making this computational. Probably the video I'm recording right now. So this is ophttpd 17. Shocking truth about set theory. Making this computational. Kakutani's theorem, making this computational, and that this will be counterfactual regret minimization. Weird example. Killer cave Sudoku. And I think that's going to be biting off more than I can chew to make it about Sudoku, but because I don't understand Sudoku well enough to solve it, and so I probably don't understand it well enough to. But this pattern of this literally is the thing. You have some initial point, and you say, from here I impose a constraint and construct a new point, and then from that new point I can impose a constraint. Well, I mean that's how all of it works. But it's specifically, if you're thinking about it as these sort of four players, if you're thinking of these four corners as four players. I don't know. And let me go to GitLab. See, I've already started doing I've been planning on doing a CFR thing. I've been planning this troll for a while. This and you can guess what the nature of the troll is. God, I hope Craig doesn't watch this. Anyway, otherwise he'll spot the troll coming. I might not publish this, off chance he watch. I mean, how far are we into this video? Yeah, we're 3 hours into this video. There's zero chance he's going to watch this. Okay. This is going to be a lot of fun. Oh, I should have put that AA30. I should have put it in here. Anyway, so weird example, making this computational counterfactual regret and minimization. Oh, fucking Nash's argument, obviously. Counterfactual regret minimization. 3 hours is too long to upload, I think. So, Okay. See, I did start recording in ophttpd 017 and didn't actually get anything done. So, and it was just 2 hours of me fucking around, and sorry, I'm just not going to upload videos of myself doing nothing, getting nothing done. That's just, these videos are already a waste of people's time, but at the very least I should be accomplishing something. Alright, let's new project. This will be private, rev 00024, what's it going to be called? This will be private because it'll be part of the epic troll against Craig. If you look up an application of counterfactual regret minimization, you can guess what the troll is going to be. Okay. God damn it. Oh, I don't have TeXXX, that's my problem. Events. Oh shit, I gotta, anyway. Scene, oh yeah, okay, so this is introduction, basic topology, Brouwer, Kakutani, Nash. Weird example, the Killer Cave Sudoku. I don't know if we'll talk about that, but this is kind of, alright. I've got so much shit I've got to write, but anyway, I'm happy about, okay. Get status, get add, okay, arm rev 023, get add dot, get commit, begin, relations 24, the massa branch, get remote, there we go, get push dash your gen master. Fuck off. Oh. That's the problem. There we go. I gotta change my profile picture. This one's getting boring. Alright, this is getting too long, and I need to go make more tea. So I think I will break the video here.